Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general looking for the lesson reading for Taurus, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the month of December. I hope you are well. I'm using the Llewellyn Tarot for you today. Just before we get started, I just want to let you know that the 6-month overviews for each of the signs that I've done are all now available. They run from January to June 2023 and the link for that is in the description box. And also to let you know about my private community, the Order of the Phoenix, over on Circle. Lots of benefits to joining that, not least because it's a community of absolutely sterling people that I love with the fire of 1,000 suns. So if you're interested in that, that's the second link. There's a whole thing about how to join down there. So looking for the lesson. I mothballed these readings back in the summer because I was trying to pull a bit more time for myself back. But I've decided to bring them back as a little Christmas present to you all. I don't know if they'll be back again in January, but certainly for now they're back anyway. So if you haven't come across these readings before, they're essentially an exercise in perspective. And it was something that I've done for myself for years, and then I started doing it when I ran the channel, when I started the channel. Because I believe that there is wisdom or a lesson contained in every experience and interaction that we have, if we are open to seeing it, and too often we're not because we get bogged down with the drama and the minutiae of day-to-day 3D life. So I think it's easier to get through things that are challenging if you know that there's a point to it, if there is some meaning in it. So we pull 3 cards for your current energy and we see where you are right now. It's like an energetic snapshot. And then we will pull 3 cards to see why you are in this energy in the first place. Now, it could be that something's trying to leave your life and you're not letting it go. It could be that something's trying to come in and you're not embracing it. And it could be just showing you something about the way that your mind works or the way that you behave, to give you an alternate view on something. Like I said, it's an exercise in perspective. We're pulling out and looking at this from a wider perspective than down here in the trenches. And then we'll close out with 3 cards of advice. I hope that makes sense. I've used this to great effect with myself for years now. I find it really, really helpful. So that's why we're here, doing it with you. So can I have 3 cards for Taurus's current energy, please? We have the Ace of Swords, the Judgment card. There's the Ace of Swords, the Judgment card, and one last card for Taurus's current energy, 2 of Swords. That's quite interesting, Taurus, because in the first instance, it does seem, there's the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck as well. Let's just flip this around so you can see what I'm looking at. That it's the moment of epiphany for you. I remember we were talking about in the monthly read, how, I believe it was at least, that it was necessary for you to have a little bit more faith in yourself than you currently do. And this Ace of Swords seems like it's a light bulb moment with regard to your judgment, right? How good you are at making decisions about things. But it seems to me here that what you're having to make decisions about are things that are currently shrouded in uncertainty for you. I sometimes call the 2 of Swords like willful ignorance, but I don't think that applies here in your case. It's more a case of knowing what you don't know, or knowing that you don't know what you don't know, probably more specifically here. The Ace of Swords can be a new idea about something, but more often I tend to read it as a new way of thinking about things, right? It's an epiphany moment. It's that point where you put 2 things together and nothing is quite the same again. Yeah. And specifically in relation to your judgment and how you exercise it and what it means and how discerning you are and all that sort of stuff. We know that Tauruses like certainty. You like to deal in certainty. But there's something here about getting a little bit more comfortable with dealing with matters of uncertainty. Like, this is going to be the point where your judgment and your discernment will start to shine through, but it is necessary to trust that. It's necessary to invest in yourself. Tauruses have no problem investing in other people, but you really, really struggle investing in yourself. And if you have that little voice that talks to you and says, like your intuition saying, don't really know what to do about this, maybe I won't do anything. That's possible. It's actually my default. When I don't know what to do about something, I sit on it and I wait, because the right path opens up eventually. I just have to be patient, and that's something that you do very well. But then there will be other situations where the path forward is uncertain and you don't know where you're going. Well, kind of going back to this whole map reading thing that we were doing a couple of months ago. There isn't a map for where you're going, and so there is inherently uncertainty and a lack of clarity about the right move forwards, where the only way that you get to navigate around successfully is by leaning into your intuition, leaning into what is there and available for you to look at. And your emotions play a really important part in that, Taurus, because while you may have felt that your emotions were your weak point and they tripped you up, because of the kind of work that you've been doing on yourself for the last 2.5 years now, Taurus, it's coming up 3 years since everything started to really change with you, and I've walked alongside you the whole way, and I've seen it happen, and it's been extraordinary. The whole point of this is so that when things are uncertain and you don't know which way to go and you don't have a map and you're like, well, fuck, I don't know, that you trust your own judgment on something, because you've earned the right to do that. Right? This is a skill that you have now developed, and it's important that you lean into it, because you will need it moving forwards here. Why is Taurus in this energy? I mean, I feel like we've answered that question already, but we've got the Eight of Wands. Why is Taurus in this energy? Got the Hanged Man in reverse. Why is Taurus in this energy? Thank you. And we've got the Moon. So we have you as ever leading from the heart with the Knight of Cups there. That's Piscean energy, but it's talking about the emotional center being open and energy being allowed to flow within it. Right? It isn't restricted by fear that you might be over investing, or fear that somebody's going to let you down, or fear that you're not doing enough. Probably not doing enough to keep somebody around, right? It's just an easy movement of energy. And the reason why you're in this energy at the moment is because things are going to start speeding up soon, Taurus. Right? That uncertainty that you're kind of wrestling with at the moment it really isn't going to do anything other than increase. And that historically would have been something that would have frankly put you on your arse. Right? This was not something that you would deal well with. But with all of the work that you've done on yourself and the way that you are now in tune, sorry, Silas is ambling around in the room for some reason. Put yourself in tune with what you cannot see, feel, taste, hear, touch, but nevertheless perceive. The stuff that is going on that is actually really important under the surface. You've put yourself in tune with that to such a degree that it does not matter if you do not know where you're going. It does not matter if this accelerates and the momentum increases, because you will know where to go. And this Hanged Man in reverse is about making yourself uncomfortable so that you can see the world from a different perspective, right? It's about submission to stuff. But it can also talk about stasis when it is up in the upright. And when it appears in the reverse, it's about coming out of that. It's like you have learned what you needed to learn from inside of you. From this point forwards, it's about taking what you've learned and putting it in front of you. Right? Building that path in front of you as you go. It's not for you to be standing still at this point, Taurus. And if there is any inclination to stand still, it's really important that you check that that's not coming from a place of fear. I'm like, fuck, I'm afraid to put one step forward. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. I had somebody in the circle community come and introduce themselves the other day, and they said, I don't know what I'm doing, but I do it well. And I absolutely cackled when I read that, because I thought that is absolutely glorious. It was a Taurus, actually, who said that as well. And I think that's very much the energy, said with a bit of a smile. There's very much the kind of energy that is good for you to rock at this point. Don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it well, and I'm putting one foot in front of the other. Standing still isn't necessarily a good thing for you at this point, because I think if you are standing still, it is because there is some sort of deep-seated fear that you're going to put a step wrong somewhere. And the energy is saying, nah, you need to keep moving. You need to keep moving. Even if it is a bit uncomfortable, you just got to keep putting one foot in front of the other and trust in what it is that you know. You might not know all of the things that you'd like to know, but you know enough, and you know about what's going on in here, and that for you, Taurus, is the most important thing. We're creating a map as we go. There might be the odd situation where it is important for you to just stand still and take stock, but it really must only be that. Take stock and then make the next judgment and the next judgment, and keep moving forwards again and again. I mean, the Judgment card is a card of making decisions and taking responsibility for your decisions. If you stop because you're panicking, you're falling into more of this kind of energy, right? And we want to avoid that. We want to be like the owl, soar above the water, under the light of the moon. It's all about strengthening your faith and your connection with all of the work that you have done, that body of experience that you have built up, but more importantly, this connection that you have to whatever is going on in here. Keep moving, Taurus. And some cards of advice for Taurus, please. Thank you. We have the Star. That's fuck me. That's beautiful. Some advice for Taurus, please. Amazing. That's the Lover's card. One more for Taurus, please. What does Taurus need to know? We have a Queen of Cups. I mean, fuck. This is absolutely extraordinary, Taurus. You're always extraordinary. We've got the Star. And I mean, the meaning of the Star is could not be more clear in light of everything that we've been talking about here. Right? In some ways, it's about taking your gaze from your feet and looking up. If you don't have a map and you don't know where you're going and everything is uncertain, then the way that you make your decisions is by way of this feeling here, and this feeling connected to the Star. Whatever your guiding light is, right? Your hopes, your dreams, your highest aspirations. What do you wish for, Taurus? What do you actually wish for in your heart of hearts? Because that's the thing that you need to guide you at this point. The Hermit card, which is one that you've got to know really quite well over the last few years, has the Star. The Hermit has the Star within the lantern. I don't know if any of you have ever noticed that, but the Star is sitting in the lantern and he's guiding himself on an inward journey with that. This is becoming an outward journey now. Right? It's not about sitting inside yourself and kind of rolling around with all of the stuff that's gone on, that sort of thing. You've made sense of that now. Now it's time to release that Star and let it go up into the sky and see where it's going to take you, and trust that it is going to take you where you need to go, because we've got this Lover's card here. It's conscious co-creation. This is how you work with the energies of the universe. It's not about standing still. It's about one step in front of the other, constantly moving closer and closer to what you feel your heart drawing you to. The Queen of Cups is there. She feels to me like a step on from the Knight of Cups, because it's about giving and receiving then too. It's about reciprocity. It's getting into a state of reciprocity, not only with those people who deserve to have you around, right, who have proven themselves worthy to be around you, but also allowing the good stuff to happen at you. You've opened your heart up for a reason, and it is to receive. You deserve all of this. You are worthy, you are valid, and now we're going after it. This is what's happening. You know, a few years ago, the kind of chaos that's coming up for us would be something that would have you all stricken. But you're ready for it now. Because you understand that in order for something better to come along, we have to throw what was up in the air. We have to take away that safety net. We have to take away all of the things that up until this point we used as an emotional crutch. In the chaos that ensues, there is opportunity for those who keep their head, for those who listen to their internal guidance system, for those who keep walking towards the light. This is what you're doing, Taurus. I think it's absolutely magnificent. I love it when you pull shit like this out of the bag, Taurus. I really do. This is why you're top of the class. Every single time. Absolutely magnificent. I love it. And I'm going to go now, because otherwise I'm just going to sit and be effusive for another 10 minutes, and there's absolutely no need. You know what you have to do. Maybe you don't even know what you have to do, but you'll know when it's time to do it. And that's the takeaway from this. You just have to trust that. So, know that I love you all very, very much, and I'll see you soon.